What is autism?
Autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder influencing cognitive processing, communication.
But that's not important.
What is important is that around 1 in 68 people are born with autism spectrum disorder, a lifelong condition that influences how people perceive the world and connect with others. Asperger Syndrome is more commonly diagnosed in men, as many of the characteristics can be less obvious in women and therefore go unnoticed. All individuals with Asperger's are different. No two are the same. Often, individuals with Asperger's have similar core characteristics. With these 4 characters, we will look at and define some of the different characteristics of Asperger's syndrome. When stressed or anxious, many autistic spectrum people practice a sort of comforting mechanism, which is referred to as stimming. Everyone does this, and it can range from twirling hair to artistic practices. Throughout this short program, we will be talking with and exploring the lives of people who live with this condition. We will examine and identify their various social, physical, and behavioral differences, and hopefully show you at home what it's like to live with Asperger's syndrome. This is the story of Gary. Gary has issues with social interaction and can occasionally feel awkward and out of place. Gary sometimes has difficulty understanding other people's points of view. This makes concepts such as small talk, body language, and social reading feel like alien concepts to him. In an effort to make new friends, Gary has decided to go to a local nightclub. Gary is not used to being in a large crowd and finds the amount of people in the nightclub a little overwhelming, to say the least. But he wants to make an effort to meet new people. He feels uncertain how he should start a conversation, and more importantly, who he should approach. Gary decides to try talking to this group, but has difficulty getting their attention. Gary tries to be patient, but his anxiety builds up until Gary, scared that he's not in the conversation, has pushed his way in. He just wanted to join in, but his outburst has earned him annoyed looks. Gary is feeling discouraged and starts to wonder if coming to the nightclub was a mistake. To make himself feel better, Gary decides to stim, which in his case means taking out his sketchbook. While at the bar, a young man approaches Gary and shows interest in his drawings. They begin discussing art and seem to share other common interests. It seems that although Gary has difficulty interacting with some people, with the right person, Gary can develop good chemistry and in turn have meaningful conversations and connections. This is the story of Jack. Jack's speciality is information retention. This means he can remember a lot of information about topics that he likes. Unfortunately, if he doesn't like a subject, it doesn't work as well. He can't just memorize everything. He's not a computer. Jack is good at subjects he likes because he wants to learn more about them. Today, Jack is helping a friend with a college assignment. Jack and his friend are both in the same English literature class in college. This is a subject that Jack has a passionate interest in. Jack proceeds to explain these concepts to his friend in a very elaborate manner with the use of complicated language. It is obvious to Jack that his friend does not understand his explanations, so Jack proceeds to simplify them with the use of layman's terms. For people with Asperger's who experience information retention, speaking about subjects they like can be a challenge because they go into too much detail and don't always consider their audience. Billy's weakness is inflexible thinking. He likes things very structured and is easily thrown off by disruptions to his schedule. We're going to observe a day in his life. Billy wakes up at the same time, puts on the same kind of clothes, and has the same breakfast every day. Billy, for the most part, eats the same food and drinks the same drinks with little variation. Billy gets the same bus at the same time every day to get to work. He is very serious about being on time and takes pride in his professionalism. Billy works tirelessly, completing his set daily tasks on a set schedule within a set time until the evening falls and it's time to go home. Billy gets off the bus and goes straight home, arriving at the same time every evening. Billy's dinner is largely unchanged on a daily basis, similar to his breakfast. This marks the end of Billy's daily routine, which repeats every day of every month of every year. Now, of course, Billy is not a robot. He does have hobbies that he pursues on the weekends. Billy waits for the bus, same as any other day. However, the bus does not arrive at the same time. This makes Billy worried. His schedule is prepared for interruptions, but it still makes him feel stressed, a feeling that becomes exacerbated as time goes on. The bus never comes, making Billy run late. Realistically, a little mistake like this is easy to overlook for a company, but Billy is racked with fear that he will face a harsh reprimand for his mistake, damaging his career. This is an overreaction, but Billy can't shake the idea, almost having a panic attack. Hannah suffers from sensory sensitivity. This means that all of her senses are heightened, and any of the following could upset her: loud noises, repetitive noises, unexpected noises, bright lights, certain strong smells, and certain textures or fabrics. This can lead her to become overwhelmed in a number of situations. Everyday things like navigating a busy street can be very stressful for her. The hordes of people moving around her can feel very claustrophobic and suffocating. Other things like the noise from heavy vehicles can also set her off. Feeling stressed, she ducks into a cafe. A less busy environment and having something else to concentrate on, such as coffee, give Hannah a chance to relax. Unfortunately, noise isn't so easy to escape from. Although Hannah can't always tolerate other people, she understands that it's not fair to expect the world to accommodate her. She has other ways of coping. She can listen to loud music to help her shut out the world. This may sound strange when other loud noises freak her out, but headphones put her in control of the volume. There are other things she can do to help her cope with the everyday grind, such as wearing a hat and sunglasses to limit the amount of stimulation she gets. One other thing we should mention is the effect textures can have on Hannah. Certain textures can make her skin crawl because they feel very rough or strange to her, though this varies between individuals. Hannah is ready to face the world again. While walking down the road, Hannah looks up at the sunset. Although her sensory problems can be trying, her heightened senses allow her to see the world in a different way to other people. Asperger Syndrome is very difficult to summarize in a sentence, since it is so varied and differs greatly from person to person. But hopefully, after hearing from those who live with it and seeing how it affects their everyday life, you now have at least a small understanding of this complex and relatively unrecognized condition.